Hello, everybody. It is time for the pre-show, baby. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. Echo Base Network. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. I have one more cracker. Just one more cracker. One more. Hold up. Mega good. Oh my God. Holy crap. Crackers love crackers, if you didn't know. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coach's Playhouse. That's the name of the new show. Coach's Playhouse. I'm in sunglasses. I got a new hat. I got the greatest t-shirt ever made. We'll always remember our little buddy. So thank you guys for being here. Now, let me bring in my sidekick. Sidekick number 1 or 2 or I don't know. Sidekick. What up?
Hello. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm great. It's been a day. It's been a week. It's like this every week. Like,
I don't know. That's why I say you act like this is something different, right?
I know.
This is just it.
Every day's a whirlwind, baby. It's insane. We pretty much don't make videos anymore. We're good for one live stream together on Thursday nights, and then the EBN casts maybe on Fridays. That's where we are. But hey, me too. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I didn't get a chance to type everybody's name. I wish I did. I need to bring that back. What is up? Glenn Schroeder, my brother. Let's go. You the man. Everscale is here in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Enlighten. Leave a like and subscribe. Heck yeah, brother. Thank you so much. Debbie Young. See you soon. Love, Mama Bear. Love you, Debbie. Lombardi 1969 is also in the house. My brother Venger is here. Good morning, Acolytes, he says. Oh, boy. It's the gift that keeps on giving, isn't it?
Speaking of crackers, right, Coach?
oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. 16-bit mascot, what is up? Good to see you. Jedi Master Lawrence is here as well. Good to see you. Our brother Bobby Rogue Sarge here in the house as normal. Appreciate you, brother. Ted's Nerd World. Hey, Ted loved the Acolyte. I watched his videos. He loved the Acolyte. Loved it. He really loved it when Amanda Stenberg made that video about discharge.
Oh, discourse, Coach. Discourse.
That's what I said. Discharge. Hey, hang on a second. I'm in the middle of a live stream. Okay. All right.
I need you to come outside because I just did a toss and it only takes 5 seconds, and I want to show it to you.
Okay. So can you finish saying hi to everybody and I'll be right back?
I can do that.
That. I'll be right back.
All right, he'll be right back.
Hey, sorry about the discharge video.
No.
All right, be right back.
Okay. I'm going to try and go to where he was. Where was he? Gracious sakes, he was a ways back. All right, so we will go. My goodness, you guys have been active today. 1 second. All right, here we go. Let's see who else is here. Got Lombardi. Great to see you today, Lombardi. Thanks for being here. Of course, Graph Web, I've already seen the super chat. We'll get there. Great to have you as always. Hello, Mr. Bobby. Thanks for being here. Venger. Grouchy. Well, hopefully we can help that. Don't stay grouchy. Don't stay grouchy. You've come to the right place, hopefully, to be entertained. Papa Palpatine's Pizza Padawan. Still one of my favorite names to say. Good to see you as always. Who else we have here? Let's see here. Greetings, Everscale. Hello, Chris Longfellow. 16-bit mascot. Sure is. Do it up. Do it up. Good to have you here as well. What else? Who else do we have? The Real Super Shadow. Welcome. Great to see you this evening. Howdy, Andy. Justin. Willow the Acolyte. Save Yoda. I don't think they're going to willow it. I think it will stick around. But I definitely understand the perspective. Hello, Rebecca. Oh, no. Much love to Jerry. Sorry about that. Hope he gets to feeling better. Andrew Wall. Boycott Coach for his anti-Ewok, anti-Gungan bigotry. Is Coach anti-Gungan? I don't know.
Rumor has it you're buying Acolyte action figures.
I just saw an Acolyte. I just saw that come through. Are you anti-Gungan? I knew you were anti-Ewok.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not anti-Ewok.
Oh. Andrew Wall seems to think you are.
All right. I'm not all in either.
Well, you know I'm not. I mean, if anyone's anti-Ewok of these two, it's probably me.
I'm not anti-Ewok. I love the action figures. I'm down with the Ewoks. It's cool. It
could have been Wookiees, Coach. Could have been Wookiees.
Yeah, this is true.
It's been a few years. Probably should let it go.
I think we should. Yeah, it's been 41 years.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. We still bitching about some Ewoks. 41 years later, not
Listen,
letting it go.
We're the reason why the franchise has failed.
Yep, George Lucas sold because we didn't like Ewoks. Sorry, guys. Hey, I'm cool with the Ewoks. I have an Ewok shirt, Risman. You know this.
I know you have an Ewok mask, and it gets you into trouble when you wear it. So
Don't give me ideas.
no, please don't.
Don't give me ideas.
Do not put that
I
on.
have been known to put the Wicket mask on with no shirt on.
Yes, that's exactly.
And somehow we match.
It's really scary. It's really scary.
Where are we, man?
I don't know. I was just still saying hi to people,
Oh.
and if you didn't come back soon, I was going to do super chat. So you can decide if you want to keep doing.
Well, look, I don't even know how many people we've said hello to. Thank you guys for being here. We got 153 people in the house. Derek is running a little bit late, and Nick is also running a little bit late, but all four of us will be here. Rogue Sarge with a big $20 super chat. What shall we talk about this evening? Thank you. Thank you, Rogue Sarge. Appreciate you, brother. You already know we're going to start with the gift that keeps on giving, the Acolyte. We'll go there. I really want to wait till Nick and the DA gets here. I really do. So we're going to do that. We're going to.
We can start with some of the other stuff.
Well, you and I can run through the Mando Grogu stuff because
That's the stuff we didn't get to last time. So
yeah,
we can do it this time.
There's a lot of it, and we'll just kind of breeze by it. And when the boys get here, we'll jump into the Acolyte, and that's when me and you have it easy. We just sit back and we just turn Derek and Nick loose.
We won't be able to get a word in anyway.
Yeah, it's just like they got it. They got it. Hey, boys, Acolyte. That's basically. It's basically what happens. I love it. Thank you, Bobby. We appreciate that very much, my friend. Big $20 super chat. All your support. Can't wait to see you at Icon, my brother. We'll get to hang out for those days. It's going to be a lot of fun. GraphWeb, $2. Hashtag cancel Disney Plus. The most consistent man on YouTube. We appreciate you, GraphWeb. You are the man. And we also have a brand new member, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Cool has joined the EBN family. Boy, I've not been able to play one of these in a minute. So this is not a gifted membership. He joined on his own accord. So let's give him... Oh, yeah, this will be a good one. Do we want a Star Wars one or a non-Star Wars one? You call it.
I think a Star Wars one.
Make it so. Wait, that's not Star Wars. You have laughed at everything I've said so far. You're the only person that understands me, Risman.
We've been at this a long time. If I don't understand you by now, it ain't never going to happen.
I cannot make my wife laugh, and I'm funny.
Well, we always think we're funnier than we are.
Yeah.
We're maybe not that funny.
Okay. I can't argue with that. Mattuine, another one of our brothers, get to hang out at Icon. He loves my Auburn hat. Mattuine, $5. Greetings to all my fellow incel Star Wars haters. Hashtag can't cope with woke. Nope, we cannot. We cannot. Appreciate you, brother. Yep. We are the incel family, no doubt about it. All right, brother. Let's see. We also have Davish. Holy crap. Yep. Davish has gifted 5 Echo-based network memberships, so welcome to the new 5 people. Please give Davish a big thank you for giving those memberships, and welcome aboard to all of our new members. Thank you, Davish. We appreciate you, bro. Davish always got our back. Ted's Nerd World, member for 43 months. Dude, it's almost been 4 years.
I know, 43 months.
And I just keep looking younger. It's crazy.
You keep looking, that's for sure.
Whatever. EBN Thursday nights, let's go. Hashtag grifters. Black pills.
Black pills.
100% right on both accord. Yep. You got it, Ted. But you forgot the poop emoji. You failed, Ted.
There's still time.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Ted. And speaking of gifted memberships, Debbie Young gifted 5 Echo Base Network memberships. We love Mama Bear. Thank you so much. If you got one of those, please give Debbie a big thank you in chat. She is the GOAT. Brr. Was that funny? No? Okay. That didn't think so. Nathan Rodriguez, $2. How bad will the Ray movie be when it comes out? Bad. Bad. Michael Jackson bad with a capital B.
I think it says if it comes out, not when it comes out. I'm editorializing. I'm saying if
you did editorialize that one because Nathan did not say.
I know. He said when. He said when.
But I agree with you. And the rumor is Kathleen Kennedy will be retiring in October of 2025.
Now, it's so funny because, and I think we even have that one in the agenda, right? But Jeff Snyder said like 3 things on that Roca podcast, and those got spun out into the most amazing stories, right? And one of the things that he said was that he had heard that she would be around at least until, what did he say, April 2025 or Q2? No, he said Q2 2025. I said
October, but yeah.
Right. And so... So I've seen so many people now saying she's here until June the 30th. I'm like, well, you know what quarters are. You're taking it very literally. Yes, that is the end of the
That's the end of the quarter for sure.
He said at least through the second quarter.
At 11:59 p.m.
Yes.
Her retirement will go through.
June the 30th and not a day sooner and not a day. Like, y'all crazy. It's just crazy.
And I'm sure there were 15 YouTube videos made about that very thing.
At least.
Of course.
At least.
Of course. I am so glad that I'm not like a little dog just chasing after the Star Wars news every time something drops.
Well, we knew that none of them were on this channel because we don't make videos.
We do not make videos.
No, only live streams.
We make videos and lose 40 subs, man. We better stop or we're going to have nobody here.
I think we're down to 30. We only lost 32, so we gained some.
Oh, thank you for being with us, guys. Times are tough. I just ate a pack of crackers for dinner. It's all good. Jedi Master Lawrence gifted 10 Echo Base Network memberships because she is awesome. Love Erica. You are the best. Thank you, girl. Everybody give Erica a big thank you in chat as well. She is awesome. That is going to catch us up with all the stuff. So let's look. We don't want to go Kathleen Kennedy. Oh my gosh, I have an advertisement. What has happened? Okay. All right, here we go. What's everybody in chat said? Let's, we hadn't done this in a while. Let's just highlight chat and see what people are saying. Are the rumors about Sigourney Weaver true?
I'm going to get there. Wait a minute. We've got a stream crasher here.
The Star Wars mom, ladies and gentlemen.
We've got a stream crasher.
Hello, Star Wars mom. You're the best.
Traveled 7 hours today to get here.
Not a problem.
Not
a problem. Yes. Can she hear me?
She can hear you.
Okay. All right, good. Well, I'm glad that you made it safely, Star Wars mom.
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome. If Matt misbehaves, spank him with the belt.
See you another time.
Yes, ma'am. Did I make that weird? I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
No, she was leaving anyway. Wasn't because of anything
okay.
you said.
Right. Yeah. Look, I played a very sad card the other day. I had to drop my car off at the dealership to get it fixed. So I had to schedule the appointment. Well, I scheduled the appointment yesterday, dropped the car off today. They have a shuttle service, but the shuttle service only runs in the city. I live in the next city over. So I was like, look, I live right across city limits. Can y'all take me home? I can't sit there 5 or 6 hours waiting on the car to be fixed.
I get it.
And they were like, I'm sorry, Mr. Groves. That's my last name, by the way. I'm sorry. We can't do that. I'm like, sir, I'm taking off work to do this. I've been waiting 2 months because the part's been on back order. My wife is going to be at work and my parents are dead. I have no way to get home.
Oh, my parents are dead.
Yeah. And they were like, let me go talk to my manager.
You really did?
I did. It's true, and I used it,
You
and
sure
it worked, and it worked. So I feel kind of bad, but at the same time, I think my parents would have been proud.
I think they're fine with it. They're dead either way, right?
I think I'm going to start using it a lot more often.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyways, it kind of was therapy for me too. Like it helps me out a little bit. So, anyways, let's keep the Pasta Master. What up, Coach? Good to see you. Let's see. Felix Quiros with the Star. Wait, what quote is this from? The Force is what gives the Jedi's power. I have no idea. Is that from like? Is that from?
Certainly not from the Acolyte. I can tell you
that's,
that.
What is that? EU? Is that what Nick said that time? Is that EU?
Yes.
Thank you for the OG Star Wars quotes, Felix. You are the man. I can't see flying pigs.
Flying pigs.
I don't know. Kathleen Kennedy gonna be around to 21-25.
They're constructing the animatronic as we speak, right? They're going to do one at Walt, and they're going to do
goodness.
one at KK.
Yep, another year. The rumor is there will always be more rumors. 100% right. You are so right about that. Don't believe anything that's reported about KK. I agree. Darren's 100% right. Everything about Kathleen Kennedy that you could possibly say has been said. And people, there's always speculation.
And it's
She's
been
out.
said-
She's not allowed on set. She's this. She's that. She can't check her email. She like we've heard it all.
And
you
it's
know.
been said for so many years now that some of the folks who said it before forgot what they said and saying something different now. Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange how that works?
Yeah. Yep. You're absolutely right. And you're probably right, T. Davidson. They're probably just bot subs leaving. Unless they really didn't like our videos, you know. You never know. I don't like Coach wearing sunglasses. Unsubscribe. It's, you know, hey, people have their reasons. Let's see. Everybody was happy to see Star Wars Mom. Everybody saying hi, Mom.
Somebody
That's-
asked if it was a real old woman. I saw someone say, "Is that a real old woman?" It's like, yeah.
That's the goal.
I mean, God willing.
That's the goal. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I don't think we'll
not-
ever make it. I don't think we'll ever make it to be old. Well, it's 2024. I guess we could, but I don't think we'll ever make it to be old women. But hopefully, we'll make
Exactly.
it to be old.
I was
men.
about to. About to correct that. So, so everybody said that my comment to your mom was awkward. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, I see it. Oh,
Yeah.
she's awesome. Yeah, exactly. She's adorable. He went there. Yep. Yikes, Tatooine. Deceased parents work every time.
You had a lot of support for deceased parents, by the way.
A-
A distressingly large amount of support, I might add.
In the chat?
Yes.
Oh, hey, you got to use the hand you've been dealt. You know what I mean?
I understand.
So let's just not pretend like it's not happening. The GOAT is here. The GOAT. There he is. Everything that can be said about KK has been said by Mike Zero.
I think I told you, I don't know if I told you this or not, but regarding this whole Acolyte, people who were all mad about it, some of them were like putting snippets of different thumbnails, like look at what these people are saying or whatever. And they had one of Geeks and Gamers, they had one of Ryan, and then the third one was Mike Zero. Examples of people hating on the Acolyte. I'm like, wow, we really have moved very far across the spectrum when somehow Mike Zero is getting grouped together with Geeks and Gamers.
That's wild.
Crazy.
That is wild. So Pain's made some Mike Zero videos and giving him shout outs.
Yes, he has.
Hey, he's massaging that algorithm. Pain's right about that. So Ted's Nerd World. Hey, it's 2024. You could be anything you want.
It is true.
If you really could wake up in the morning and be anything for a day or anybody, who would you be? Chat, this is for you too. Who would you be for one day walking around?
Like a person.
Whatever. Fiction, nonfiction, I don't care.
Goodness sakes. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's what our mind should. No one has answered the question. Nobody wants to go first. Nobody wants to go first.
Alan picked a good one. Alan picked a good one.
I don't see it.
He said Luke Skywalker.
Oh, okay.
I assume that
gotcha.
was an answer to the question of who we wanted to be. I'm making an assumption there.
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger. Gosh, Mosey, I wouldn't have picked Mick Jagger in a million years.
No one in Game of Thrones. That's cool. I'd be George Lucas and I'd binge The Acolyte. Oh, man. I would be KK and I would retire. Emperor Joker. An X-Wing pilot. That's a good one. I like that, Becky. Jessica Alba, I wouldn't leave the house.
Okay.
Elvis.
Wow.
I'd
Michael
be
Jordan.
Elon and give all my money to Ted's Nerd Worlds.
Put some thought into that.
Jessica Alba. Is that another person saying Jessica Alba?
Mm-hmm,
or
that's a
something
different, or maybe just responding back to seeing Jessica Alba mentioned.
Jordan. Yes.
Michael Jordan.
Lucas. I would be me.
That's a good one. I still can't think of a good answer. Or any answer, I guess.
If I could wake up in the morning and be anybody, just for one day, I'm struggling.
Ryan Johnson. Bobby said Ryan Johnson. Oh, God.
I would want to be X-Wing to find out how he does it. Makes no videos and gains 10,000 subscribers. We're trying it and we're going backwards.
Wow, I did not expect you to go
That's
there.
who I would be. I would be Drunk 3PO, so I would find out how much money he makes in super chats. Really, because it's a lot.
Sometimes I'm overwhelmed watching some of those streams and seeing the generosity of the folks in the chat.
He can't even talk about what he wants to talk about because the super chats just. And look, I'm not trying to complain about it. I mean, if you feel, if you want to send one in, go ahead. But what I'm saying is, it gets funny watching people trying to talk about things, but they can't because the super chats keep pouring in. Like this one, Debbie Young with $9.99. I'm wearing my Tron shirt too, Coach. Bring it to Icon. And she means the legendary Tron. Yeah. I love the design of this shirt, honestly, man. Like, it's him in the wheelchair with the bar that you get on the light cycles.
Yes.
Behind it.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So freaking cool, dude. Like, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Speaking of Tron, Jared Leto was recently at the Magic Kingdom and he rode the Tron ride. Loved it too. Loved it.
Oh, very cool. All right, well, let's get into some of this.
Let's bring up some Mando and Grogu. Somebody's stealing our thunder asking about Sigourney Weaver. There's been a few questions about Sigourney Weaver.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting. All right, well, here we go. Star Wars, starting off here. Katie Sackhoff on appearing in the Mandalorian movie, and she said, if I did tell you, they would probably kill me. Are we speculating here that we're actually going to get a Bo-Katan appearance in the Mando Grogu movie? It wouldn't shock me.
It wouldn't shock me either, right? And so I think, and the next one's going to be Poor Tem, also talking about the same topic. I think it really depends on what they were going to do in season 4 and how much this movie really is a replacement for that, how many of these folks we see. it wouldn't surprise me if we. Let me put it this way: I would be more surprised if we don't see her than I will be if we do.
Yeah. Yep. I get you. Shrike. Who? I mean, I'm not arguing that. I mean, we're just trying to talk about the news, brother. Yeah, totally get it. You could probably say that with about everything Star Wars at this point. But I like the character. If she's in it, it doesn't make or break it for me. But it will be interesting to see either way. So, Star Wars new movie will drop one major Mandalorian season 2 plot. Confirmed star. Now, you're going to have to look. Okay, here we go. Tamura Morrison confirmed that his absence in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is for real. He will not be in it, according to him right now. The Book of Boba Fett's disappointing reception may have impacted the character's future, and Boba Fett's future in Star Wars remains unclear. He's one of those sad actors who has been publicly calling out, please give me a role and let me play the character again. The thing is, I think he's a great Boba Fett.
Same.
He really is a great Boba Fett. The problem with the show wasn't him. It was the story. And it was how they used him. Go look at how he was in Mando. He was fantastic. So, really sad that you get a crap show like The Acolyte, and the actors don't get renewed, the show doesn't get renewed, and they're blaming it on bigots. You got a really good actor who does a really good job as a Star Wars character. The show wasn't good, but it's almost like he's just being punished for it. And they need to bring him in somewhere, whether it's his own show or not. Tamura Morrison needs to be Boba Fett again.
So I'm with you. The interesting thing about this article is scroll down just a little bit further and see what he actually said. It's just down here a little bit further. Right here. This is an interesting quote. I understand they're going to do the movie. And next, things have changed too. There was going to be a Mando 4, and I was going to turn up in that. But as of now, I'm still waiting for a phone call related to the movie. So, he was going to be in Mando 4? How far along was Mando 4 really for him to know that he was in it? It's
very interesting. Well, that shows you the dysfunction happening at Lucasfilm. They have no solid plan because they're wildly inaccurate with how they think fans are going to accept their product. I know somebody that likes to speak on these things. Let's bring him in.
All right.
What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And real quick, before we get started.
Real quick before we turn him loose, DA. The thing that we're going to talk about after the stream, we are not talking about that. We're going to keep that one on the DL DL for this time. Well, everybody, right. we got something to tell you later, but not today.
Okay, I got you. What's up, everybody?
Hello, or as they say in Japan, hello.
Oh no!
I was funny. I made a funny. Ha ha ha. What movie is that?
That's what I mean, Coach. About sometimes we think we're funnier than we are. Think back to my comment. Fly it here.
I watched Dave Chappelle last night. I'm funny.
Okay. No comment.
I have no idea what that means. All right, DA, Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Should they give the man another try? What do you think?
So, no. Look, they've butchered up too many great characters. I think they just let this one go. I thought he was also going to be in Mando and Grogu, but if they've written him out and he's not going to be in that, or whatever the case may be, then that's good. Like I don't want to see these characters ruined. I'm tired of seeing great characters ruined. They kind of messed him up, and that's fine. Move on to something else. It's no longer, Boba Fett doesn't have the reputation that he once had now because of what they did with the character in Book of Boba Fett. I think they just kind of neutered him and made him kind of silly. So I say just move on, get out of this, whole situation. Get away from this entire corner of Star Wars, this Mandoverse corner. I can't wait till it's gone. I heard also that he was going to be in Mando 4. I guess that was part of.
That's the quote here he was talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they had a script, right? They did have a script. So maybe that's how he knew he, saw his name in the script, at one point in time for Mando 4. But, if they're not going to go forward with it, then, cool. We don't have to worry about it, just move on. But yeah, I don't think there's any chance in the world that Boba Fett comes back.
They have to be very careful with their choices here. Like the Acolyte was so bad, they have to go with sure wins. So, hey,
right.
Rey movie, right?
We're not talking no Rey movie tonight. Move along.
The only way I would bring Boba Fett back is if there was somebody that had like a legitimate good script, like an amazing script.
So I don't mean give him his own show. I would like, and I think I'd be okay with it. Give it another try. I would be okay with it, honestly, at this point.
Another show?
I really
just
would.
Bringing them in a series,
a season two. But as far as if you're going to be in the Mandoverse, you have established Boba Fett as a character. Tamora Morrison is really good. We've seen what he can do with the character. If that's the Boba Fett you will give us, then I'm all in. Bring him back.
Yeah, I just hate what they've done with a lot of these legacy characters, and I just kind of don't want to see them anymore. Because every time they bring them back on the screen, it's just another, just destroying the character even more.
Right.
I'm afraid if Luke comes back, what more damage will they do to Luke? What more bad things will they have happen to Luke and Han? And, so I'm at that point, Star Wars is already dead anyway. But at this point, I'm like, can we just have some memories of what we did enjoy about Star Wars without you guys stepping over the legacy and ruining it? Go forward 200 years and make new things. And then, introduce us to new characters. That's what they should be doing. Yeah, like a bantha. Like,
yep, I'm with you. Well, our fourth guest is here. Let's go ahead and bring he ain't a guest. Let's bring him in. Welcome to your channel.
What up? Yeah, just had the roofing guy leave. He was they came knocking on my door a couple weeks ago and was like, there was a hailstorm that came through like a year ago and the year's almost up. So if you want to file on insurance, and then insurance approved to get a new roof put on my house, but now they're not paying for all of it or something. So I was sitting there dealing with that and working on a game plan on getting a new roof on the house. So,
fantastic.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, boring adult life.
It sounds like it. All right, so X-Wing has been cast in. Tell me it doesn't look like him.
Yeah,
sure does. Sure. Yeah. Although I would say X-Wing's mustache may be better now than Pedro's, but I don't know.
So Pedro is expected to shoot scenes for Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu later this year. So I don't know, guys. Mando and Grogu. I mean,
well, and the only reason I think it would be relevant is if he was going to have his helmet off again, right? Because again, if he's just going to voice it or do whatever, who cares, right? But this whole he's going to be there, he's going to be in person. I'm like, oh, helmet's going to be off then. I mean, great.
So I'm going to say something that's going to make some people mad, and I say it and it's going to make me feel sad, man, when I say it out loud, to hear myself say it. I love Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
I love that man. I would have been ecstatic to meet him in real life.
Yeah.
He was an incredible character actor.
Oh yeah.
But if I never see Grief Karga again, I don't care.
Didn't like the
Yeah.
character, huh?
Not that I didn't like the character. I was fine with him. Just like I was Cara Dune.
I got you.
Good, I mean, solid character, but I don't have to have him back. And if I don't see him again, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. You know what I mean?
I get it.
It will be kind of weird, though, at this point, moving on with Grogu and Mando, and you don't see him. They're on Navarro.
I think what's going to happen is it's going to start with them on the homestead, and what's his name, the Carson Teva's going to show up in an X-wing or something at their house and be like, or Zeb's going to show up in a Razor Crest. But you know what I mean? They're gonna show up in such a way and probably recruit Mando, I'm assuming, that never takes him into town, that doesn't focus so much on Navarro, I'm guessing. And so I think they can avoid having to go there. You know, other people have speculated that they're going to do a memoriam and they're going to do something very heavy. I don't think they're going to do that. Right. I just
So you
think they're
don't
going to
think
leave
they're
it
going to
alone.
address it it's not going to be addressed in the show at all. They'll just work their way around it, kind of like they did with Cara Dune.
I think so.
Yeah.
I was thinking they could recast him, but would that be sacrilege to anybody to recast this particular character? I wouldn't mind.
I'm just,
You know,
I would honestly like to see like them do like a whole kill him off screen and then them do like a big huge funeral for him, and then Mando goes on his adventure or whatever.
I think the issue is we're putting the context around as though it's a series, right? I think if they were doing Mando 4, it would be harder to reconcile no closure. But for a movie event where, again, it seems like he's going to be off planet doing things, he being Mando and Grogu, right? I don't know that there's a necessity to spend a super long time on Navarro addressing Grief Karga just in a 2-hour movie.
so
my opinion.
yeah. So speaking of recasting, I feel like, without being able to draw on evidence, I'm not a fan of recasting characters. That at least in Star Wars. Can you guys think of a character that was recast by another actor that really worked out well for you, that you really enjoyed? I'm asking you that because I can't think of one anywhere that I'm like, man, that was a really good recasting. Like, that really worked. I can't think of a time I've ever thought that.
I think Bobby Morrow in the chat, I don't know why I can highlight it, right? Bobby Morrow went to an example that I would have gone to, right? I mean, a role that's been recast several times that's worked tolerably well has been Bond.
All right, so so that is a little different. That's a great example. I'm with you, but I didn't grow up in the Sean Connery era.
yeah.
Yeah, but we grew up with Roger Moore, or at least I grew up with Roger Moore, and then it became Pierce Brosnan, and then it became Timothy Dalton, or I even reversed. But you know what I mean? We've seen a lot of Bonds.
I grew up in the Roger Moore era, and I guess because I grew up in that era, he was always my favorite Bond.
Same.
And then they bring in Timothy Dalton for one, and then after Dalton's one shot at it, it was Pierce Brosnan, and that was not good.
No.
Well, they were none of them were Roger.
It was he was a popular Bond, but he was a lesser Bond at the same time. If you get my
Those,
drift, you know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
He was very popular though.
He was a decent Bond. The movies were bad to me.
Well, and I always felt like none of them were Roger Moore, right? I always felt like
I
Roger
agree.
Moore believed he was really James Bond,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? In real life, he thought
He was
so
like Nick's James Bond.
Yeah.
He was all about them legs,
Yeah. Yeah.
or as Amanda Lestenberg says, discharge.
No,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
there's one recast that comes to mind that I thought was good, and that was Terrence Howard, Don Cheadle as Rhodey.
I saw
in-
someone
in
say that in the
MCU.
chat also. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one works. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Another
that
one
would
is Harrison Ford playing Jack Ryan
Yep.
from the because it started out, I think it was Alec Baldwin in The Hunt for
Mhm.
Red October,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then in Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger, Harrison Ford took over. I thought that was an upgrade for sure.
And then they let
Clear
Ben
and
Affleck
Present
do it.
Danger. I love that movie.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Ben Affleck one, yeah, I thought that was a good movie with Morgan Freeman.
It was a good movie. I
Oh,
just
yeah,
don't
yeah,
like Ben
yeah.
Affleck.
Yeah.
Not a fan. But
Yeah, but you're right, Coach. It's pretty rare. Like it's hard. It doesn't work very often. You know,
Yeah.
when you look at it. I just think like, I don't know. I don't want to see the characters just gone. It's like, are they going to ever use them again, or is he? All right, we've already told the stories we're going to tell in the Mandoverse anyway. We're going to move on past this after the movie. We're not going to do anything else. I get what Rissman is saying. It's like you can write your way around this in a movie. It would be a lot tougher in a series. So if they're not going to do any more Mando, then yeah, they ain't got nothing to worry about. They can just move on. But I personally feel like if they're going to do a series, they need to rewrite. They need to keep the character going.
now that's a great example right
Dumbledore. A lot of people are saying Dumbledore, by the way.
there. And I agree completely.
Yeah.
What, man? I like the first Dumbledore better though.
Well, so that's a Hall of Fame, one of the greatest of all time actors, Richard Harris. He was
Yeah.
outstanding.
Yeah,
But the guy who came in after him, I don't know his name.
Michael Gambon.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was one of the best roles. So that's, to me, right there is the top example of a recast working. He was phenomenal in Harry Potter. So yeah, that's good. That's a good one. I needed that. Richard Harris, love him. He wasn't as good of a Dumbledore as that guy.
I liked him better, man. I thought he was a perfect Dumbledore for somebody that's like a Potterhead that has read the books.
Yeah.
I felt like Gambon played the character too emotionally. I thought he was way too aggressive in certain scenes. And, I was like, okay, that's not how Dumbledore would have reacted in that. But, that's how they got this character being played. I thought Richard Harris was perfect as Dumbledore in the first two films. But, I don't think Gambon did a bad job. I don't think he did a bad job at all. But
Well, Nick, you're being oddly quiet on this one. What do you think?
F Harry Potter and everybody involved with it.
We know Nick's hate relationship
can
with
you-
Harry Potter.
I don't give two jack squats about Harry
So-
Potter.
DA, this is a really good opportunity for you to bust Nick's balls about hating on Harry Potter. Because I
can
seem
hate
to
on
be,
Harry Potter if you want to, man. I
Wait,
think the Harry
but if
Potter.
I
say
know it's
something
got a
about
huge fan
base. Y'all outside my house with pitchforks and stuff.
Yeah. No, y'all can come to my house and sit outside with pitchforks. I don't care. I'll still hate freaking Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is way better than Goonies.
I disagree.
But
But
well,
it's all
Chat,
subjective.
throw it up there. What's better, Harry Potter or Goonies?
Everybody is going to like things differently.
I think Harry Potter is better overall, but Goonies is timeless.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
How
But
could
I
you?
think Harry
lot-
Potter's a better told
J.K.
They're
Rowling
two totally
is one
different
of us.
kind of
How could you
movies
do that?
too. They're two totally different kind of movies.
Well, and I was also going to say there sure is a lot more Harry Potter than there is Goonies, so it is kind of also hard
Yeah.
to make a real comparison. Right?
yeah.
Harry.
But Harry Goonies. Oh no.
I think I'm in the minority on that one too.
I just it's hard for me to put them in the same. I don't put them in the same place in my mind.
Yeah, they're
right?
different. They're different completely. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, Rebecca in chat says I'm a Hufflepuff. I don't even know what that is. And don't care. I'll never watch Harry Potter. I tried watching it and I was like, this is
Somebody
dumb.
sent us a super chat one time, DA, and it was about something about who would win between Voldemort and such. And Nick was like, what? He's like, is that EU? I don't really read EU.
Yeah, I don't know anything about EU.
Man, we about had to end the stream. I couldn't go.
Well, because Coach let it drag out for 10 minutes of torturing Nick around.
Yeah.
We made a super chat video
Yeah,
on
like,
it.
What?
It was so funny.
Was
is that EU?
That must be an EU character on some book I never read.
All right, Sigourney Weaver.
Hey, you skipped the Filoni. You skipped the Filoni. Last one was the Filoni article. You don't have to play the video, but the protege. I love the way Screen Rant titled this, but this is a fancy way of them saying Filoni is co-writing the movie. George Lucas protege.
Gotcha.
Oh God, freaking Filoni. He'll do. He won't do anything but make it worse. He'll only make the film worse.
Dave Filoni is confirmed as the co-writer for The Mandalorian and Grogu for the 2026 release. The film will continue the adventures of the two. Filoni, Lucasfilm Chief Creative Officer, is also serving as an executive producer for the upcoming Star Wars film.
The good news is we can count on an Ahsoka cameo now. So.
With him being the Chief Creative Officer, you would think that he would be a co-writer for everything. I mean, he's putting his hand. I mean, he's in it. I mean, it is what it is. We can't. There's little to no hope that he's not going to be involved. However, maybe the one thing that's different a little bit is Andor. It might be outside of his involvement a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder if Filoni has anything to do with Andor season 2. The writing, the story, anything.
Nope. They might have checked with him for a fact or two, like a fact check. Hey, Dave, what happened if this did this? Oh yeah, you can't do that or whatever. That might be where Dave Filoni can come in to play, just as an encyclopedia of Star Wars stuff. But he ain't touching that. I don't think there's a chance in the world that he's touching Andor. Tony Gilroy has a lineup of amazing writers, so I don't see why he would ever bother with him.
Well, hopefully they did ask him jack squat, because a lot of his own stuff, I would have been like, no, you can't do that. But he did it anyway. So
he's not. He's starting to be. Everybody, I think the secret is out. Like, a lot of fans now are pretty much anti-Filoni. Yeah. Everybody's kind of turning against him because they saw they saw Ahsoka. And they're like, man, Ahsoka just really wasn't that good. A lot of people liked it for the member berries and to seeing the Rebels characters in live action. That was fine for a lot of people. But when you come back to them, say, hey, have you went back and rewatched Ahsoka? And, oh, no, I haven't seen it since it came out. Like, well, why not? We saw, I don't know about you guys, but when Mando season 1 and 2 dropped, I watched the episodes multiple times. I would go back and rewatch them.
Yeah,
I haven't done that since. I don't think I've rewatched an entire series, with the exception of Andor. Andor I did watch twice, but I don't think I've watched an entire season of anything else in Star Wars since Mando season 1, Mando season 2, and Andor. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I haven't.
Book of Boba Fett once.
Rewatchability.
Ahsoka once. Yeah, I don't care. Obi-Wan once. I haven't gone back. Acolyte, man, if I could ever avoid seeing that thing again. Yeah, I don't think I've ever. Yeah, so Filoni, the word is out on Filoni. I think this guy's a fraud. I think everybody's starting to figure it out.
Well, one thing is for sure. I will bet real money that we're not going to see a witch in Andor. I think we will be witchless in Andor season 2.
It's been a minute.
I don't think it's good. We have a better chance of seeing a witch and skeleton crew.
It's like
I think that
Halloween
we
all
do
the time in
Andor
Star
season
Wars.
2.
Yeah.
There's witches everywhere now.
Yep. Stupid.
Mm-mm. No witches in Andor. However, I did see someone say something in the chat about Ahsoka in Andor. As much as I would like to say no, do remember that in Rogue One there was a Chopper Hera Syndulla cameo. So it is possible. It is possible when they're back on Yavin that there's a ghost sighting. That could happen.
They mentioned the dark saber in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
We already know Ahsoka's still out there. So
All right, so Sigourney Weaver, guys.
She confirmed
Yeah.
it.
I mean, we kind of already knew, so it's not like it's big major news, but like, is this good news or is this like, I like Sigourney Weaver.
yeah, I mean, it's always a positive when you get a high talented actor or actress involved in your project, but it's also meaningless at the same time if the project's complete shit. So
Yeah.
if Sigourney Weaver's coming in, hey, great, you guys got Sigourney Weaver. But if you write her dialogue and her character dumb and stupid, it's not gonna matter.
Exactly. That's like an NBA All-Star going and playing overseas in Europe.
Yeah.
And I think she was
It doesn't
quoted.
even matter.
I think she was quoted somewhere else saying that she had a fun role, or she had a fun. There was something she said about it that made me cringe a little bit because I'm like, what does that mean? She had fun doing it. I mean, like Lizzo, Jack Black fun, like Pelimoto fun, like what kind of
Right.
fun are we talking about here? Because sometimes it's not good in these Mandalorian projects.
Yeah. Nah, this is look. Do you guys remember Defenders on Netflix? Did you ever watch that?
I
don't know,
tried.
many people. You tried. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember Sigourney Weaver was in Defenders. She was the big bad in that thing.
That is
She was the
true.
main villain. And that show was terrible.
Awful.
Okay.
Unwatchable.
It was, oh my God, man. Like I was like, oh my God, they're gonna do it like an Avengers, but they're gonna do it with the Netflix universe. So you have had Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist all teaming up to take on Sigourney Weaver. Oh, this should be awesome. No, it wasn't. It was terrible. One of the worst shows I've ever watched.
Heard of this show.
Yeah,
Defenders, yeah. It was on Netflix. It was the Marvel television stuff on Netflix. They had those 4 series, and then Punisher was in there, but I don't think Punisher was in Defenders.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't think he was. But they all like teamed up to take on big bad Sigourney Weaver. They announced it. Everybody was excited. Nothing burger. I said, okay, there it is. I've learned everything I need to know when it comes to Sigourney Weaver showing up and stuff. It might be trash. It might be absolute trash. So yeah, Sigourney Weaver in this is a nothing burger for me. And like you said, unless the series or unless the movie is good and well written, and we know it's written by Dave Filoni, so that don't really mean much. At the end of the day, I think this thing is just going to be, whatever. We'll have to see.
And I've seen all kinds of dialogue on this, right? Oh, well, you wouldn't have such a big actress like Sigourney Weaver if it wasn't a semi-major role. And I'm like, well, cameo, anyone? Cameo, few minutes. Sigourney Weaver meets Grogu, has fun, goes away. I mean,
She gets cameos and stuff all the time. Yeah, like it could easily be a cameo there. She's there. She said a fun part, so she could just be there for 5 minutes.
Sure good.
Whatever. I think this is an absolute nothing burger, and I'm not interested.
I agree. This doesn't make me more interested. This doesn't make me excited at all. And I think that The Mandalorian and Grogu is their very best pitch. It's the best angle they have. It's the best thing they got going. And it's not great. Don't forget about Mando Season 3. It's not great at all. It's heavily damaged. But it's the best thing they've got to go forward. I mean, obviously, Andor is going to be more solid, more enjoyable, I would think. But something that could actually have legs and keep going. Andor, this is the end. There is no more.
Yeah.
It's the finish. This is the finish line. You know,
Well,
it just kind of felt like that with Andor from the get go.
Yeah, we knew where it ended.
Yeah.
But I think they were supposed to do 5 seasons. I heard somebody said they were going to do 5 seasons. I think it was just 2 seasons always, and then
No,
they-
Tony and Diego both confirmed that the original thought was they would do a season per year leading up to Rogue One. So that meant 5 seasons. But when they thought, then they sat down and said, well, how long were we going to be making this show?
Yeah.
You know, it would take so long and such a commitment. They're like, we can't do 5 seasons of this.
By the time you get
So-
to the 5th season, like Diego Luna, it's going to be like 10, 12 years later.
He said, he said they'd be rolling Andor out in a wheelchair, right? If we had to do
Yeah.
5 seasons
Right.
of this thing, right? So that's why it became 2 seasons, and
2
I think
seasons.
that was the right call. Hopefully, they nailed the 4. Again, they're saying they're doing 4 small movies, basically, right? 3-episode arcs. They're going to be roughly, roughly 120 minutes.
Yeah.
4 small movies is how they're producing that. I think that'll
I think that
work.
works. Yeah.
But the one thing I want to say about Mando and Grogu is we now have confirmation of 2 actors who are in the thing: Pedro Pascal and Sigourney Weaver. There's not a confirmation of anybody else who's even in it.
Yeah. So looking at this headline right here, Lucasfilm reportedly has multiple unannounced Star Wars TV series in development. Okay. First, we've said this a million times. In terms of Star Wars scoopers, Bespin Bulletin is probably the best. They're
A1.
they're up there with making Star Wars. Even though I don't like him personally, when he releases a scoop, it's normally, and they work together a lot, don't they? Bespin Bulletin and
Yeah, they
making
do.
Star Wars, they do a lot of stuff together. They're usually like dead on, and scoopers get bad names, and a lot of people make stuff up for sure. These guys are the best.
So on this point, Coach, this leak comes from Jeff Snyder in the same 10-minute podcast where he said KK was going to be there until the second quarter. He also said his sources at Lucasfilm, and he does have real sources at Lucasfilm. So I'm not trying to diminish anything you just said about Bespin or even Jeff Snyder for that matter. But he said they're working on things. He said, because I actually went to the podcast, I was curious. He said something like they're working on things with major characters. They're not ready to announce them yet, but they do have more things in development. But we all know in development, just like green light,
Means nothing.
means nothing.
It's just here you go, Red French Moon. It's just a scoop. Do I say scoop weird?
I don't think so.
I think I say it with perfect Southern dialect.
Not as bad as theater, that's for sure.
Shut up. It's not funny. I don't say theater. I say theater.
You do now.
We're going to the theater, y'all.
In development doesn't mean anything. That just means what? Hey, somebody's writing a script. That doesn't mean that it's going to be developed. That doesn't, they're putting together ideas. They might have a team, but that doesn't mean that any of this stuff is actually going to happen. There's all kinds of stuff that's been in development for Lucasfilms that are in development hell. It's what they call it, development hell. It means it's just been sitting there forever. And it's like it's never gonna come out.
Cobwebbed, like our friend Pro says.
Yeah.
That's legit. And what's awesome is finally, a show failed so bad that we have official word. They canceled it.
I was just gonna say
They never take the L publicly, and they did.
The only thing we can definitively say is not in development is the Acolyte. It's crazy.
Yeah, because they've never officially canceled any of the series that they've had, even though, I don't think there will be an Obi-Wan season 2 or a Book of Boba Fett season 2.
Why is his picture in this?
Oh, this is the This is the cover from Entertainment, like Vanity Fair, when they did that photo shoot for ages ago before
Yeah.
Obi-Wan came out and Andor, where they had them all together. Matter of fact, I don't even think they had announced Obi-Wan yet when they did this, and they
So-
just had him put his clothes on. Wink, wink.
Do we ever see Ewan McGregor again? I'm not talking about next year or 2 years. I'm talking about 10 or 15 years. Do we ever see him
think
again
so.
in Star Wars as Obi-Wan?
Nope.
I really doubt it.
Yeah, highly doubtful.
Rematch of the
Yeah.
century. Didn't work out.
I don't think they have any ideas of what they want to do. They got multiple series in development. They're trying to see if one of these might stick. They need to really go back, like everybody's been saying, to the whatchamacallit model where they used to make a show, the pilot model. They really need to go back and start doing stuff like that. Even with Star Wars. Hey, let's just make a pilot. Oh, that didn't work. All right, scrap. Next. Instead of developing entire series like the Acolyte and dropping $180 million into it and then having that thing go completely belly up on the ratings, and now you got to pull the plug on it. Like, hey, why don't you just develop one episode of the Acolyte and see if people actually like it? You know, you know what I'm saying? Instead of wasting all this money and time and energy on something that's just not going to work. Like they said, the viewership fell off immediately. Like after the first two, because it started with the first two episodes. And then after the first two episodes, the following episode, episode 3, they said the viewership went right off the side of a cliff and it never recovered. So that tells you that this thing was doomed from the beginning.
And Amanda Stenberg's video about discharge did not help.
Sure, discourse, and it's sure.
That's what I said. Discharge.
Yeah, no, I mean that's that part too. You know, she helped sabotage the thing, but I mean, I don't think it would have done any better. It wouldn't have done that much better had she said nothing at all. I mean, it was just a terrible show, you know. And unlike Andor, Andor picked up viewers as it went along.
Mhm.
You know, week after week, it got more and more and more viewers. And then after
Yes.
Andor was done, it really started taking off and more people started watching it. And I started to see all kinds of people reviewing Andor. People are still like doing reviews now, like big channels. They're like, hey, we just finally saw Andor. It's amazing. You know, it's like, wow, you guys are catching this thing like 2 years later. But that's the problem. They didn't have a good idea of what they wanted to do with their TV series. And you know what? I made this point on my channel on, I think it was a nightcap or maybe it was a video. Star Wars is about cinema. It's about the big screen. It's about the movie theaters. I think they need to slow down all of the television development and really start focusing on the films. And then if you get a good film with some good characters, then maybe you can spin that off into a television series or, you know, whatever. But I think they need to put all these ideas that they have, like Book of Boba Fett, they're just not big enough ideas to capture the imagination of a lot of people. The only reason people watch it is because of the name Boba Fett or the name Obi-Wan or the name Ahsoka. That's the only reason people even checked in for these. I have a feeling if these were made just like the Acolyte was made with no big names, they would have did about as well as the Acolyte did. If you make Ahsoka and you just make a random show, and you can have the same plot and the same everything, but you didn't put Ahsoka in it and all the Rebels characters, and it was just a Star Wars adventure with just, I don't think that show would have done well. I think people would have checked out early because it was boring.
The Book of Boba Fett was like a beautifully wrapped Christmas present, but you open up the box and it's something that's just you do not want at all.
Yeah.
And that's the teaser was the beautiful wrapped present.
Oh yeah, that
It was the
post-credits-
best
the
thing
post-credits-
by far.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
And nothing in the show lived up to that.
Nothing. But yeah, I think they have, like, Star Wars to me is about, you know, big. You have to get the big ideas out there. You know, the grand picture of what it is you're trying to do, and then you can spin that off into a TV show if you want to. But I think Star Wars has to slow down all of this television and start focusing on the films. Forget TV for about 5 years. If you guys can't get a good film out, forget television. Get straight to the films and make the films better. And then after that, then you can start, okay, now let's see if we can get a spinoff coming out of this movie that was a hit like we did with Rogue One to Andor. I think, you know, that's a good way to go. But to try to start it on television, like the High Republic, this whole High Republic thing, they started it in comic books and books. and then they tried to build it up to the Acolyte. Nobody read the comic books or the books, so nobody knows any of these characters. So nobody cares, and then you get Leslie Headland to do it, and she's a terrible writer. So, you add all of that together, and it was just like, what was the High Republic for? It was a giant waste of money and time and effort from everyone involved. So in my opinion, start bigger. Start with the big idea, the grand movie that you have. You have this amazing movie in mind. Start with that and then work your way down instead of starting at the bottom and trying to work your way up.
I agree with everything Derek just said. And I kind of think we're seeing that now. We're going to get Skeleton Crew's got to come out. Okay, we're getting Skeleton Crew. Next year, we're going to get Andor. In 2026, it wouldn't surprise me if we just get the movie. And then in 2027, maybe they'll give us Ahsoka season 2. Right? I don't, even if this is true, that they have unannounced Star Wars TV series in development, they're not going to start casting, shooting, script. They're not going to do any of that while they're working on Mando and Grogu, while they're working on Ahsoka 2. There's no reason why they would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Like, I get I agree with everything you guys said. There's no, all this news and everything that we're talking about, it's like, I don't see how Disney Plus is going to survive.
Oh, no.
I think they're gonna do a corporate thing. They're gonna combine it with Hulu, and they'll call. You know what I mean? Because of all the stuff that's going on and the money they're gonna spend on Hulu, they'll probably say it's Hulu with Disney Vault or something. They're gonna figure out a way to spin the whole streaming business into something more manageable. And I personally think it's going to include very little to no original content other than perhaps that's branded as Hulu content. I think that's what I think they're going to I personally think they're going to deprecate the two things as being separate and really integrate and go that direction, because with the exception of some lagging Marvel content, there's no original Disney Plus content being produced.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's run through some of these super chats and member chats we got real quick. Then we'll get to our big topic. Big topic coming up. Debbie Young, $49.99. In memory of the legendary Tron, we love and miss him. Yes, Debbie, we absolutely do. Thank you very much for that. I'm supporting my boy with his shirt, the legendary Tron. T here, miss him very much. Really, really do. Thank you for sending that in very much. That's big $50 super chat for Tron. My fandom, you bigots, with a $5 super chat. Tron would probably cuss you out for that. Tell Anna, that Star Wars girl, that I'm a real fan. I get free noodles from Disney, and I do Revan cosplay. I'm a true fan. Been here 2 years. I'm old school. Acolyte. Okay, we will do that. Thank you. Scott Westbrook with a $5 super sticker. We'll be seeing Scott at Icon. Cannot wait. That is awesome. Thank you, brother. Our friend to many of our channels, like the DA, Staccato DDS, has gifted 20 Echo Base Network memberships, ladies and gentlemen. If you got one of those, please give him a big thank you and welcome to the EBN family. Thank you so much, Staccato DDS. You are awesome. Just awesome. Very, very giving, my man. Dr. Cool, our newest member, with a $10 super chat. Any single Harry Potter movie cannot compare to the Goonies. Ooh. I'm sure I'm the only person on the panel that disagrees with it.
Ooh, the poll is very close. Well, I don't know. New Jack City is kind of skewing us a little bit, right?
New Jack City's doing all right.
Harry Potter 42%, Goonies 41%, New Jack City 17%.
Who would pick New Jack City? DA, did you pick New Jack City?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Well, you just
Oh,
put up
boy.
there as like an independent running in the presidential election, right?
Yeah,
You got-
I did.
That's what New Jack City
Hold
is.
up.
independent
Listen,
candidate.
Harry Potter is 43% to the Goonies 41 right now.
I know. That's why someone in the
Neck and
chat's
neck,
like, "Why
man.
is Harry
How many-
Potter beating the Goonies?"
I mean, to me, it's not even close. Harry Potter is like for a entire series. Like the first movie, I'm like, man, come on. It's kind of like the Phantom Menace for me. Just I got to get through it, you know. But after that, it gets pretty good, and it ends incredibly well for me. So, the Goonies, man, I'll probably
were
never
you
watch that
familiar
movie
with the
again.
books at all, Coach?
No, my wife read them
Okay.
all. I never
Yeah,
did.
and I hadn't read any of them. Oh, I did. I read the very last book. The very last book I read.
Dude, we
Okay.
were leaving. The last book came out on a day we were leaving vacation. We were leaving the beach. I had an 8-hour drive to get back home. And my wife, we went inside the bookstore. Everybody was dressed up. People had snakes around their necks and crap because the newest Harry Potter book released that morning. We went in there and got her the book, and she read the entire book before we got home.
Did they release it in 2 volumes? Wasn't the last book 2 books? Or am I
No, it's one
misremembering?
book.
I don't know.
The movie was in 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk about a
I read it
series-
quick too. It's a quick read.
Yeah, it's simple. It's a simple story or simple reading language. It's not complicated. It's really easy to get through all of the Harry Potter books. But I was going to say, like, you want to talk about a series where, like, the movies just absolutely could not do justice to the book, to the actual story. Some of the stuff in Harry Potter is, like, ultra dark, and they barely touch this. They scrape the surface of it in the films. It's just insane. But, yeah, it doesn't really take off until, in my opinion, the third book and the third movie. That's when everything gets hot and heavy. The first 2, you can kind of skip them almost and go straight to the third one, and it's good after that. You know, I enjoyed it.
Yep, I'm with you. But thank you, Dr. Cool. We appreciate that very much, my friend. Ted's Nerd World. Let me see what he sent.
Oh, we know what it has to be, right?
Yep, of course.
Yeah.
The poop emoji.
I told you. Still Tom.
I wish StreamYard would show the poop emoji, but they don't like poop. Thank you, Ted. You are the man. And poop emoji time. Yes, sir. Red French Moon with €2. You all 4 are cool. Just saying. Disney Plus is done.
Oh yeah.
There's no reason to have it.
There sure isn't right now.
I mean, the only thing that anyone in this house would watch on Disney Plus is my 14-year-old would watch Mako Mermaids. Y'all have probably never heard of that.
I'm happy to say I have no idea what that is.
I'm a little shocked you hadn't heard of it, Risman, because you like know every show everywhere, like
I
all
mean,
the time.
in a certain demographic, maybe, but Mako Mermaids, I've never heard of.
DA, you ever heard of Mako Mermaids?
Nope.
Then y'all
Yeah,
are
no
mermaid. Y'all are mermaid phobic
Phobes.
bigot incels. Scott Westbrook with a $5 super chat. Looking forward to the EBN panel in the courtyard at ICCCON. I'll be the one in the legendary Tron shirt. First Bahama Mama is on me, Coach. Let's go. I told my wife. I heard something.
Oh, I was like, what are you looking for? Is he sneaking up on you?
Man, it's happened. I told my wife I would not drink much.
Much.
But that is a relative term.
Mm-hmm. Just like in development, it's up for interpretation.
Yes. Much compared to when? Last time, I had 17 Bahama Mamas in one day.
I can't. It was a lot of Bahama Mamas.
Man, I had
Crazy, man.
87,000 calories of Bahama Mama.
He
in
had
me.
so many Bahama Mamas, he had a palm tree growing out his head, right? I mean,
Right.
that's a lot of Bahama Mamas.
Sheesh.
Oh my gosh! Look, and
That's way too high. That's way too much.
So look,
Coach.
they came to order me a drink, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "What kind of drink do I want?"
And I looked at her, and I don't know why. I haven't had a Bahama Mama in almost 20 years. I don't know. But for whatever reason, that's what I ordered. And they girlied it up real good too.
Oh yeah, it was
They
pretty.
brought it to me. It was fruity looking. It had a dead gum little umbrella in it and stuff.
Yeah,
They run out of the umbrellas.
Like everybody's walking around getting their Crown and Coke and their manly drinks, and then it's like Bahama Mama, and I'm like, me. And then everybody's looking at me and they're laughing because I'm drinking a Bahama Mama, and everybody thought it was so funny they kept buying me them.
Mm-hmm. You were never without a Bahama Mama that whole night.
That's too funny, man. Yeah. I'm looking
Y'all,
forward to this, man.
Please do not buy me Bahama Mamas. Can
Buy-
I join? Can I join the Crown and Coke gang this
Of
time?
course, of course.
Please.
I'm getting the second
Don't
ones
do
on
that
me.
to me. The Bahama Mama is way too sweet and has too many calories. You know?
It is.
Yeah.
Scott got the first one. I got the second one.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Ray Glendenning,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on,
Join
brother?
us as
Good
a
to see
Padawan.
you. Yep, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate that very much, my friend. So, all right. This mess.
Oh boy.
This is what we've been wanting.
A behind a mama.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Do we have to?
DA, you did a good video on this whole thing. Like, the girl literally is publicly blaming the failure of her show on bigotry.
Yep. That's
If
what
your
she's
show
doing.
was good, then people who liked it would outnumber the so-called bigots.
Oh yeah. I've made that point several times. It's almost impossible to review bomb a good show. If a show is average, maybe. If it's terrible, easy. But if it's truly a good show, like a really good show, you can't review bomb it. Because even if people are bigots and racists and this, that, and the third, and they're coming out to slam it, there's going to be far more people saying, hey, this is a great show. And I don't care what these other people are saying, and I'm rating it 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, or whatever. It's almost impossible to review bomb something that is truly good. And that's the problem when, Stenberg and all these other people come out and try to cry. Oh, it's all the racists that are coming out. No, it got canceled because nobody watched it. They were out early. Leslie Headland, the minute the show was done, she was out saying, yo, we gotta get this thing, this hashtag, renew the Acolyte. Like, they started that like almost immediately because they saw the numbers behind the scenes. See, Nielsen numbers are like about a month behind.
Yeah.
So we didn't get the information on what that stuff was until a month later. But Disney Plus knew exactly what this show was doing the entire run because they can see the viewership immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. It doesn't take them a month or, a day. They can go out, oh, wow, this is how many people are watching the show. Looks great. Or, oh, this doesn't look so good. And so Disney knew exactly what was going on. That's why when she says it's not a huge shock, that's why it's not a huge shock, because everybody was probably talking about it. They probably knew, look, nobody's watching the show, guys. Nobody's watching this show. We spent $180 million on this, and nobody's watching it. It's time to pull the plug. It's time to call it quits. And that's basically what happened. And so, yeah, it wasn't a huge shock. They knew everybody was not tuning in for this. And the people that were tuning in, the few that did watch it, again, they're not your hardcore, super major Star Wars fans that are going to go out and buy all the merch in the world. World-class BSers did a video where they were walking around looking for Acolyte toys and couldn't hardly find them. Eventually this thing is just, this whole High Republic experiment was just a giant waste of money and time.
And it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, Derek. I knew it was probably canceled because it was towards the middle of the season, and one of my theme park vloggers was in Galaxy's Edge and said to the person at where they sell the lightsabers, when are the Acolyte lightsabers getting here? I want to get someone's hilt or whatever. And the cast members said, oh, we're not getting any Acolyte lightsabers now. They're not coming.
Hey, there you go, right there.
So
we're not going to sell.
Or on your point, but you can't. We're not going to say in the middle of the series we're pulling the plug, right? They're just going to mum's the word. But that cast member, just very matter of factly, was like, "Yeah, we were supposed to get some, and now they say they're not. We're not getting any."
Nope. Yep. There it is, right there. So yeah, all of this. She's coping. She's mad. She's angry. And her show got, I mean, she's the star of the show. Think about it. She's the star. She played not one role, but 2 roles. So this was her show. And it's the first Star Wars show to ever get canceled. How does that feel, Amanda? That has to hurt. That has to really seriously hurt. And so, hurt people, as the phrase says. So she's out here ragging on all the people that she blames for her show getting canceled. The reality is your show got canceled because it was a show that was not made for Star Wars fans. It was made for people that, a fandom that doesn't exist. If you made a Star Wars show for Star Wars fans, you probably would have been just fine. You made it for everybody except Star Wars fans. And Star Wars fans, they maybe caught 1 episode just to see what it was. And they were, oh, not for me. I'm out. And they never came back.
Well, just in case Amanda Lustenberg ever just happens to see this live stream, you suck. Like, you are a terrible actress. I would rather watch this chair I'm sitting in act. You suck. And I'm so glad that you were in The Acolyte and you did that, because you just proved to all of us how dumb Lucasfilm really is. We already knew. You're just more proof of us building our case. You are so bad. You are a train wreck.
Terrible.
Well, and I think part of the reason, and even for me, it was a bit much. And I really try and separate these things always, but twice now in the discourse video, and then again in what I call
discharge, Risman.
And then again in this recent hairstyling, let me just use all these big words and try and gobbledygook it out and about why this was canceled and whatever in my bedroom. In those 2 cases, she was very, very negative towards a part of the fandom.
Yes.
Right. Whether she, and she mischaracterized that part of the fandom, of course, right? But so I mean, anytime you're attacking the fans, it's gonna come back to you, and it's gonna come back to you negatively. And again, even though the ratings were the reason, or the viewership was the reason why, the show got canceled, there was conversation about her discourse thing being negatively received. Lucasfilm understood that happened. And candidly, I think it contributed to part of the reason why this is the only series yet that not only Lucasfilm, but now multiple actors have all confirmed as canceled.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If they wanted to come back for a season 2, this is your lead actress, the person that goes out and makes this diss track video. Like, this is the person we're centering this thing around. We can't bring this person back.
Right.
We can't bring Amanda Stenberg back for a season 2. We're literally going to throw money down the toilet at that point.
Yeah. Why do we think Manny Jacinto has been out and about? Because everybody loves him, and he hasn't attacked nobody. And he did very good with what he was given, and he gave it his all, and he trained, and he loved it. Right. So, of course, they're going to take him out and about, and they're going to do everything and continue to tout him as one of the best things that came from this series, because they cannot and will not use her as a representative of the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I get this train of thought here, and I generally follow this rule where I don't attack the actor or the actress. I typically do not. But when Amanda Stenberg says the things that she has said, like for instance, what I mean is I never attacked Kelly Marie Tran or Moses Ingram.
Well, I feel like like acting
but
is fair
Stenberg's
game.
different.
I feel like
Stenberg's
acting
different.
is fair game. If you're, I can criticize your work just like I can
I could
criticize a
say I
writer
didn't
or
like your
director.
performance. I could say I didn't like your
Okay.
performance.
That's
I
what-
generally
yeah.
wouldn't say. I generally wouldn't say you suck. This chair's better than you. I really wouldn't go that far with
okay.
people unless I feel that she's calling me a bigot. She's calling y'all bigots. Believe it or not.
She
Well,
is.
and it's on that point, Coach. It's not that people. I know some people say, "Well, if you think it's about you, it's probably about you." No, 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 no. She has said she is painting everyone with the same brush. She's not making any. There are no differences in what she is being quite Sithy here, right? Very binary, and that's what really gets me riled up on this particular case. It's just too much. It's just too much. Take the L, go on to your next project, and leave me alone.
Show a little humility. That's how I said it on my video. Hey, how about some humility for once? You know, you always have these actors and actresses.
Doesn't have it.
They don't understand the, you know, hey, thank you everybody that enjoyed the show. I would like to thank the producers, the directors, the writers. You act gracious. I brought up this on my I did actually a nightcap last night talking about the same thing. I was talking about Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega, same age. I think she might even be younger than Amanda Stenberg. But you never hear a peep out of her. All she does is just thanks everybody and moves on to the next project. She thanks everybody. She moves on to the next project, and she's working. She's working her tailbone off, and it's like good. That's what we like to see. Hey, I'm putting in the work. I'm working on my craft. I'm getting better. I'm getting better roles. And her star is going up. That's what Amanda Stenberg and the Rachel Zeglers of the world, that's what they need to do. They need to button their lips up, get off of social media, and just act. And just work on your craft, because Amanda, you need some acting lessons, girl. You need to get in more roles. You need to get in more TV shows and work on being an actress. Because what we saw out of The Acolyte, no, sirree, Bob, this ain't going to work. This ain't going to get it done. Your career is going to be super short if this is what you're doing. You were better off in the Hunger Games when Rue died. I mean, you were better in that than you were in this entire series. So, yeah, Amanda Stenberg, like, it's time to, hey, I need to step back from social media. She said that in the video. I've taken a step back from social media. Good. Now, stop making, responses to people, that are laughing at this, show getting canceled, and focus on getting better as an actress. And maybe picking, better roles and better projects, all right? Like, pick some better projects instead of ones that just cater to, the woke agendas and all of that nonsense. Pick some projects that are actually got some meat on them and are going to stretch your skills and make you a better, performer. That's what she needs to do. Instead
Y'all
of doing
remember
all
that?
of this stuff.
Y'all remember that cringe-ass video from the YouTubers that were the shills with the Acolyte after like the third episode? There are more of us. There are more of us. There are more. No, there are not. And if there were,
Obviously
we
not.
wouldn't be laughing about this win we just got. This public L Disney just took. I bet you there are some people at Disney that are a little nervous about the upcoming 2025 Snow White film with Rachel Zegler being the lead. I bet some after this Acolyte business, I bet some people are nervous about that.
Oh, yeah.
Because she'll open her mouth too. She ain't called people bigots yet, but she's got the personality.
Yeah. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, these actors need to get tied into some sort of a clause that ties their salaries to the performance of the show. So if the show doesn't perform, or the movie or whatever, they have to tie it to some sort of performance, because their mouths are coming out and just sabotaging everything. They're sabotaging their shows, they're sabotaging their movies because they want to be political, because they want to clap back at the fans. And it's like, okay, if you do that, your salary, the amount of money that you're making, is directly tied to that. It's directly tied to that. Because look, Amanda Stenberg, whatever she made her money. She got paid in full. So if she comes and she does a diss track, hey, I ain't got no skin in the game anymore. This is my money. I already made it. And she could just, leave and go to the next project. Meanwhile, Lucasfilm, not that I, have any love lost for Lucasfilm, but they got to sweep up the pieces from this mess. All the money they dropped on this, and the fact that the Star Wars brand is just taking further and further and further damage because this yo-yo wants to shoot off her mouth. So I think they have to start tying these people to the performance of the show that they're in. It's like, okay, you want to shoot your mouth off. All right, that's taking money out of your pocket. Same thing with Rachel Zegler. Okay, if the movie hits this threshold, if it hits 500 million, here's your salary. If it hit 800 million, that's your salary. If it hits $1 billion, that's your salary. Because Snow White should be able to get out and make what? It should be the biggest one. It should be able to make 1.5, 1.6. I don't know what the biggest one of those Disney remakes is. It's probably Lion King, I'm guessing. But it should be the biggest of them all. Snow White. And it's probably not even going to crack $1 billion because of Rachel Zegler's big mouth.
Look at this highlighted comment.
Snow White. Yes. Good one, Kane. Yeah.
That's good.
But that's my point, man. It's like all of these actresses are just sabotaging because they're activists. Deep down, they're activists. Like if you watch that video, Amanda Stenberg literally says, she thought about the fact that she was working for Disney and she was working for a major IP and she couldn't resist. She couldn't hold back. She had to speak out and say something. She had to do the clap back. Why? Because she's Amanda Stenberg and I got to be me. I got to be myself. At heart, all of these actresses that are activists, they're going to continue to do this type of stuff because nobody is holding them accountable for the nonsense that they're doing. Nobody's going to say, you know what, no more roles for you until you learn to get off of social media and shut up.
Right. Yep, I'm with you completely. Venger sends in a $5 super chat. He says, I read somewhere Sean Bean is replacing the late Ray Stevenson as Balin Skull in Tales of the Jedi and possibly Ahsoka Season 2. I would definitely think that this recast is a necessary one. If we're really getting Ahsoka Season 2, if it's really happening, they can't just throw that character out. That was a literal cliffhanger with him looking at the Mortis gods. Yeah. So somebody's going to have to do that. Sean Bean's a terrific actor, so he could pull it off. That's cool.
And if Sean Bean plays him, then Balin Skull is definitely dead in the next season.
How much better?
That dude don't live.
All right.
He dies in everything he's in.
So here's a question of relativity. You watched Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I watched Ahsoka when it dropped.
Yep.
What would you give Ahsoka, like at the time of watching Ahsoka, out of 10 as a complete series, season 1, what would you score it?
I think I scored it like a 5.
I think I was about the same.
Yeah,
I think I scored Ahsoka
I scored it a 5 when I did my original run through with each episode. There were episodes that rated like a 7. A couple of episodes, I think I said, all right, that's about a 7. I think the 7 is the highest I ever got on a single episode. But overall, I think it's about a 5. I think the writing was just poor. I thought, the pacing was dreadful. I mean, they just like the Acolyte, they might have had enough of a story for maybe like 3 episodes, and then the rest of it is just filler, and there's just stretching it out. Yeah. There's stuff that happens like that whole world between worlds moment that doesn't really fit with the story that's actually being told within that season. It's like, what does this
still don't understand it.
It doesn't make any sense why they even included that. So yeah, you have a lot of that stuff going on in Ahsoka. And like I said, it's the same thing with the Acolyte. The Acolyte probably had enough of a story for maybe 3 episodes. It could have been probably a movie if you get all the fluff out and you tighten it up. It still would have been a terrible movie, but it wouldn't have had these long, we're walking to the temple. We're standing in the hallway and talking to each other and
running very slowly.
Yeah, just right. So there was a lot of filler in both of those series. So yeah, I think it was about a 5.
Risman?
So I'm higher on Ahsoka than you all are, right? Primarily because of Thrawn and the Remnant.
Sure.
And, I mean, the things that he was doing, I liked. For me, I'm probably about a 6.5. I mean, I'm not a little bit higher.
So follow-up question. Now, take your score of Ahsoka out of it. Remove that from the equation. Compare Ahsoka with a fresh set of eyes to the Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ahsoka's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, Ahsoka's like now it's like an A. That's how bad the Acolyte is. That's why we were watching the Acolyte, and I was like, hell, I hope we get Book of Boba season 2. Because that's so much better than this.
So
There was episodes, Coach, you couldn't get through without drinking.
So
Coach
right.
had to drink himself. He
I
had to
did.
drink his way through some episodes.
Me and Nick were gone.
I have a confession to make on this point. So I've done two things since the Acolyte. I watched Andor's Steelbook while just Blu-ray while the Acolyte was going. But when the Acolyte was over, I rewatched Kenobi, and I have to tell you, the Kenobi series now seems so much better than it ever was after watching the Acolyte.
Everything does. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Everything. I'm sure Mando season 3's like Casablanca now.
Oh yeah, it's crazy how that happens, man. I listen. I think they just majorly miscalculated on people's interest in the High Republic era, and they don't really have good writers, and the books aren't selling. Like, I don't think anybody cares about that era, and it's time to pull the plug on it. You guys think they're going to get rid of that? Like, just completely kill the entire High Republic, sit it on the shelf, put it in mothballs? Because I don't see there's any reason to continue making these books, making these shows.
Who's behind
like,
those books? Like, they were on sale 2 weeks after they started making them.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
And
literally,
made
they
such
were
a big-
on sale, 25% off, brand new books because ain't nobody buying them. And there's less interest in Star Wars right now than ever before.
Man.
It continues to go down. We could have said it a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It continues to drop.
Well, and I think, well, I don't think, I know some of our friend channels, I think it was WDW Pro, I saw this this story about the High Republic. There's nothing for there. You can check what's coming in print, what's in production, what's due to be released, with the exception of some of the stuff that they're wrapping up in whatever phase they're in, and a few offshoot novels which do relate to Acolyte characters. There isn't anything in production for the High Republic. And remember, some of the books even they started putting set 100 years before the Acolyte, or it was like they were like putting on the front of these books, how it fit into the Acolyte to try and, so goodness knows they're not going to do that anymore. So I am convinced the High Republic now will come to a conclusion, and guess what? Who's going to care? The High Republic still ends in the same place it ever always has ended, which is episode 1.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, I just question like why they went in that direction in the first place. And the only thing I can think of is that it forces everybody to kind of rethink the way they watch the prequels. It's like, oh, is this all coming on the heels of the High Republic era? So you got to watch the sequel, or not the sequels, the prequels, in light of the High Republic. So this kind of sets the stage for everything that we're watching when we get to Lucas's stuff. So they wanted to kind of predate Lucas and shape that story for Star Wars, but it's just a giant failure. And I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think there's any reason to keep the Acolyte on the platform anymore either. I don't think there's any reason to keep the show around, especially if they just completely say, yeah, we're done with the High Republic. Then why do we need the Acolyte? I don't think anybody's going to come back and watch it, except for the Oshimir crowd and the Yord Horde and all those guys. They're the only ones that are watching it.
Here's the funniest thing about it.
There'll be a porno. There will be a porno made.
The most successful thing they've done for the High Republic has been the Young Jedi Adventures.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, the kid show. And it keeps getting renewed and it's getting watched. So the only thing, so I think they could keep that going if they want to. And so what if it's in the High Republic? The little kids watching that could care less. They just like, it's just cute.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cute for the kids, right?
So
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if that keeps going because it's got viewership.
Right. Yep. All right, boys. Well, look, hey,
we're almost 2 hours in. It's been a great one. We're going to go ahead and wind it down here. We got a couple of super chats to hit real quick. We already hit that one. Davish says, thoughts on Rings of Power Season 2? I don't know a thing about it.
Hadn't started it yet.
I'll be starting that up tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about it at all.
Are you guys gonna watch?
I'm not.
Hell no.
I watched the
I'll
first
watch.
couple episodes of Season 1 and I bounced.
So you
I'm
didn't
gonna
get through
slog.
season 1. You didn't even finish it.
No, not even close.
Yeah, I cut it off halfway through episode 2, and I was like, oh, I can't with this show anymore. I turned it off.
I'm gonna slog through. I watched all season 1. I'll slog through season 2.
And Staccato DDS with a $10 super chat.
Oh, good sir.
How would Leslie Headland get actors to work for her if they were paid based on performance of the show?
Yeah, and on top of that, what if the show lost money? Would the actors then owe the company, or they just wouldn't get a paycheck? I'm guessing there'd have to be like a minimum. Like, hey,
Yeah, there's some minimums in
Yeah.
the WGA and stuff. They have some minimums in there, but they or not the WGA, the Screen Actors Guild, but they have to tie. They can tie the performance of the show. It's like with incentives. It's like, okay, if this hits a certain amount of viewership, or if it hits a certain number on the Nielsen's, if we get a certain amount of this or that, then okay, you guys make a little bit more money or something to that effect. They can do that. That's what they're doing right now with the actors. New contracts, like if they hit certain thresholds on Netflix and all of these major streaming platforms, and it becomes a big streaming series, they make a little bit more money. They get a little bonus or whatever. So they could do that with these guys too, that like to shoot their mouths off and say, okay, you want to talk a lot, all right, cool. Your pay is tied directly to the performance of the show. All right, let's see how you do now. Let's see how much you want to talk now. And I guarantee you, they say nothing. They keep their mouths shut and they just act, which is what they all should be doing.
Disney is evil geniuses, because we have it on good authority that the management had a meeting before the Acolyte released, and their plan was to start shorting the stock, and that's what they did, and they made millions and millions. Let's make a show so bad, and we'll all just start shorting the stock, and we're gonna be like set for life.
Yeah.
Too funny, man.
Hey,
The one thing is on that. I know you're joshing, right? But this wasn't the only thing that's driven the stock down, right? But that's a whole nother a whole nother story for a different topic.
Yeah, I saw the other day. I guess they're talking about how abysmal the park attendance is too,
and they've owned up to the fact now that they expect it to continue to be quote unquote soft, right? The bubble burst. The post-pandemic bubble burst, and they priced themselves out of encouraging people to come back.
Just wait till that freaking Nintendo Land opens up.
Oh, Epic Universe?
Yeah.
Well,
Epic Universe is going to crush it.
Epic is going to do their own things to capitalize, right? They're requiring multi-day tickets. You can only go into that park one day, so you have, they're not going to be as gracious, I think, as people are expecting. But I can't blame them. They're going to have to do something to throttle the capacity,
the influx. Yeah.
Plus, they're putting a 500-room hotel there that people are going to expect to get into the park too. So,
outside of Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2, what has Disney done positive so far this year? What are the positives from Disney?
Nothing.
I don't think they have any outside of those two.
X-Men 97.
X-Men 97.
Oh yeah. X-Men 97 was good. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, Romulus.
That's why their stock is dropping. They don't seem like they're in an upward swing in any, except for those three projects.
Well, Romulus has performed decently enough, but what does all these things have in common? They're not really Disney's. All of these things we just named are by other people that Disney gets the credit for because they assimilated those companies.
Well, let's keep it real. Ain't nobody excited about Tron Ares.
Well, just us.
I mean, I'm not excited about it. And
I am.
I'm not Jared Leto fan.
I
And
love the
understand
franchise.
he's a turnoff.
I love the franchise, but I'm not excited about it, man, because I have no faith that they can make it good.
Yeah.
And the
They
sad
should have
thing
continued
is,
Tron Legacy.
2010 was the year Tron Legacy came out. That wasn't that long ago. It's been 14 years. They're so far removed from making good, solid entertainment like that.
Yeah.
And it's only been 14 years.
I saw Tron Legacy in Chicago with my ex-girlfriend. And I was like, this movie was awesome.
Now,
Yeah.
having my assimilation comment aside, to complete that thought, it does prove that if Disney just lets the people do what they know how to do with little meddling and just say, go make the movies you want to make, 20th Century Studios, you know what I mean? X-Men experts, go and do what you know how to do. We trust you. What happens? It works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But they can't help
unless you're Dave
themselves.
Filoni, and then you tell him to go do it, and then it doesn't work.
well,
Oh,
but
yeah.
but I mean, at this point, I'm starting to be on everyone else's camp regarding Filoni, right? Whatever he was or is now, it's not the same as he was when he was illustrating on Clone Wars, right? I mean, I think we all have to acknowledge that. But he's so all I'm saying is, if they would just let the people do what they know how to do, and maybe we'll see Feige doing that again, then I think the recipe for some of their success comes back.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. But then they also have like their other stuff with the parks. You know, the parks aren't working out. They got weird stuff like, weird lawsuits with the whole Disney Plus clause in the lawsuit. I mean,
At
it's
least they
just
dropped
bad.
that.
They finally did, but that bad press got out there. And so it's just making Disney look like just a den of thieves at this point. Like they're just trying to get you any way they can. It's just a bad look for a company that's supposed to be, the happiest place on earth, friendly, family friendly. And it's like, this is what you guys are doing. They just look very bad right now in the eyes of pretty much everybody. So, when you hear Disney, you think, shit, what happened now? What did Disney do now? That's kind of where your mind goes. It's just, so, I mean, the stock dropping and everything, it doesn't surprise me. And it's going to continue to drop, I think it's funny that Nelson Peltz wanted to kind of help steer the ship in the right direction. Everybody said, no, sorry, Nelson. And ever since he left and got up out of there, he took his stock and his money with him. It has just gone belly up for that company.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I agree. Well, look, let's hit the exit by all four of us saying something that's let's all give a hot take about anything. I'll start us out. Don't worry. I'll start us out and y'all can comment and tell me how wrong I am, but this is what I think. Tron Legacy is a top 10 sequel of all time.
That's a hot take.
Anybody buying that? I originally put top 5 and then I made it to 10. I made it 10.
I would have to
Top
sit
5
down and think about that. Of all the sequels out there, it's probably close to top 10 for me, for sure. If it's not in the top 10, it's close. But I'd have to sit down and really think hard on that one.
See, I got people in the chat. Oof, no, so wrong. And I get it.
That's an easy disagree.
Hey, don't forget, folks, I think the Goonies suck.
That's a hot take right there, man. That's the hot take.
My hot take, and I've said it before on here, Iron Eagle is better than Top Gun.
Oh, that ain't a hot take. That's easy all day long.
Yeah.
Top Gun? The original Goonies is better than the original Top Gun. That movie's just not very... The sequel is 10 times better than the original.
The sequel was good, but I really enjoyed the first one. I don't know if I'd put it higher up than Goonies.
Man, Days of Thunder's better than Top Gun.
Oh no, I hate NASCAR though, and I'm a big military fighter jet guy, so
I don't like NASCAR either.
It's just personal preference, I guess.
Yeah. The poll results was 44%.
Harry Potter.
Really?
Goonies.
Was it?
Goonies came out on top.
44 Goonies, 41 Harry Potter, and 13 New Jack City.
New Jack
New
City?
Jack City got some love.
Hey, way to go, New Jack.
Hey, 13% out of those two is pretty good.
There you go. All right, here's my hot take. And I know it's probably not a hot take, but some people would consider it a hot take. Even though I know that this next movie that's gonna come out is gonna make yet another $2 billion. Avatar is the most overrated series in the history of film.
Man, I am 100% on board with that take.
It's definitely top 5 overrated.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure
It
I
ain't
disagree.
that good, yo. It
It's
ain't
not.
that
I'm not
good.
a fan. I did not think the first
It's
one was
not.
good, and I had
And-
zero interest in that second
And
one.
I was just going to say, and one of the things I'll pile on regarding Avatar is the more they make, the less I seem to like the franchise. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? And the fact that there's already going to be 5 or 6 of them, and Sigourney's
Awful.
coming back and all this, I'm kind of
Hey,
like,
let's
I'm
put
kinda
it in
like-
our theme park.
they're building now a new Avatar land based on the water movie, and they're putting it in California.
Ugh.
So I'm like, gosh, if I'm kind of like, ooh, the more they do, the less I like it. Like, ugh.
All right. That was
But
a
it's
good,
going to make
that was a
but it's
good
going to
one.
make $2 billion. I'm saying
yeah.
it right now.
You're
It's
right.
going to make $2 billion. So
You're right.
it's just amazing that that's the case.
All right. That was a good one, DA. That was a really good one. Here, while you're thinking about y'all's two.
Oh, I know what I'm going to say.
Oh, well, go ahead. We're ready.
I think The Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be a good movie.
I don't know if that's that much of a hot take. I mean, Jon Favreau directed, and he's kind of. But my only drawback is that Filoni's going to be also writing this thing with him. I don't know how much influence he's going to have. Hopefully, Jon Favreau's going to be like, Dave, are you serious? Hell no, we're not doing that.
Will you say that hot take again?
My hot take is that I think The Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be a good movie. I expected you to put up you ripping those Grogu posters. I knew something was coming. And it's funny because I would not normally have classified that as a hot take, but I hear there's a lot of hate out there going into this movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna be curious to see what that thing does at the box office, because really the only people that watch the show on Disney Plus, which how many subscribers do they got? Like 15 million or something like that. So how many people out there know anything about the Mandalorian or Grogu or anything outside of just diehard Star Wars fans and people that just got drug into it by their Star Wars fan boyfriend or girlfriend or parent?
Well, it goes back to what Risman was talking about earlier and DA was talking about earlier. This is another example of them going bottom to top, small to big.
Yep.
And that's precisely why it might not do that well. It might be a good, solid movie. You might be right. But in terms of box office and numbers and saving the franchise, it doesn't have that type of ability.
Yeah,
It doesn't have that kind of draw. You're talking about a little series, and the third season was so bad you abandoned the fourth one. You're doing a movie.
Well, I saw someone else, and I'm not ready to go on this one. They're like, a hot take would be that it would do better than Rogue One. Well, Rogue One did over $1 billion, and I know they keep bringing it back out, so that may be a little unfair. Do I think Mando and Grogu is going to do $1 billion?
The only way it can is if the trailers are absolute fire with Grogu drawing in the people that they had before. And I don't. I don't think they're that creative.
The hype is gone. I think the Baby Yoda Grogu hype is gone. I don't think people care like that now. I think that was a big reason for its popularity. But that was a big reason why a lot of people liked the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared to say that Mando and Grogu will do better than Rogue One, but I do think it's going to do better than people are expecting.
But what if Luke Skywalker's on mission with them?
So here's the thing, Coach. If Luke Skywalker is on mission with them, do we think they'll tell us about it ahead of time?
Yes, because they're going to want that money.
That's the interesting
It'll
thing
be in the trailer. They'll show him in the trailer.
Let me ask you this: from a fan's perspective, given, you don't have to say what he's been saying, but given some of the commentary from Mark Hamill, how does the character of Luke Skywalker feel right now to a lot of Star Wars fans? How do people feel about that?
I still love Luke Skywalker as a character in a a fantasy sci-fi film. Mark Hamill, that dude is a freaking nut job. I don't really care for him as an individual as far as his political commentary goes. I don't know the guy personally. I'm sure.
But does it hurt the character to have him be like such a divisive figure? The person that played Luke Skywalker being such a divisive figure, you got to figure unless they recast him for this film and they say, okay, we're gonna not de-age Mark Hamill, we're just gonna go with Sebastian Stan or somebody like that. If they don't do that, like Mark Hamill, if he's in the film, how would that feel to a lot of folks that are kind of sick and tired of Mark Hamill and his nonsense? That's my question. I agree with you, but that's kind of where I'm looking at it.
I think it's a lose-lose situation because if you recast, there's going to be diehard purist fans out there that are like, that's not Luke Skywalker. Count me out. Yeah. Then you got a side that's going to be like, oh, Mark Hamill's in this and all his dumb, stupid social media comments. Yeah, screw this. I'm not going.
But to be fair, he's been making comments for years. He was making dumb social media comments back when he was in Mando.
Yeah, it's been going on forever.
Yeah, like I don't think it.
And also,
you don't think it'll have an effect.
And if he does come back,
because here's the thing: people that hate on Mark Hamill, friends of ours in the YouTube space that comment on Mark Hamill's tweets that says, "How's your granddaughter?" Yeah. When the people that are saying those, they're still going to watch the movie. They're still, whether Mark Hamill's in it or not, they're still going to watch the movie. They're still going to talk.
Remember, if Luke does come back, they're going to bring him back a la Book of Boba Fett. They're going to take the next step of deep fakeness, however you say that. And they're going to present us with a Mark Hamill visage that doesn't evoke anything about current day Mark Hamill.
Yes.
So it's going to be Luke, right? It's going to be Luke in the black garb, coming to the rescue or doing something if he's really even in it. And again, there's been some birdies out and about saying he's in it, and they're spending a lot of money on deep faking and peace on that. But I think they'll make it work.
Their best shot with the franchise is the Mando Grogu movie. It's not that good of a shot. It's the best one they got. And if they bring Luke Skywalker in with them, like they did in Mando Season 2.
Han, Leia, 3PO, R2, Chewie.
You're getting real lofty now. No, you just added $500 million to the budget.
Well, and remember, if there's an Imperial remnant business here and Mando sniffs them out and that the movie culminates in some kind of a chaotic space scene where the Falcon flies in and all this shit happens, right? Where they want to wow you on the big screen.
That's it.
I could see them going all out, right? If Favreau's going to do this, he's going to do it.
Look, all the Star Wars fans that grew up with it, our generation, we still have not been able to see Luke Skywalker on the big screen the way that we wanted to. Mm-hmm. We got to see it on the small screen. If they want to make some money with this movie, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And here's the thing. But over time, it loses its luster a little bit. It might not even be DA because of Mark Hamill's comments on social media. It might just be the state of the flipping franchise. Is so bad, fewer people care,
That's what I'm saying. Like, coupled with that, the state of the franchise is bad. I don't think that, Mando Grogu movie is going to be any good. Dave Filoni's writing it, and now you add Mark Hamill. Like, where's the draw? Like, what's drawing me in? Seeing Luke again, but what if they ruin Luke even more than they've already ruined him? Like, true. That's how I'm, maybe I'm, black-pilled right now on the whole franchise, but I just think they'll find a way to screw it up. They'll find a way to take this thing and destroy it even more than they've already done it.
Yeah.
You know, so and then just like I said, Mark Hamill's commentary and the stuff that he says is just kind of icing on the cake. A lot of people have checked out when he said his last comments at that fan convention, you know, a convention of fans, and he tells everybody to go force themselves. I'm like, God damn, man. Like, this is what we doing now? That's absolutely insane.
And the thing is, he wasn't saying that kind of stuff and kind of going after fans back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, he's taking it to a whole new level at this point in time, which has really turned people off. So I think I don't know if it'll have a significant effect, but I 100% know there's people out there that if he's involved in it, they're going to be like, I'm not going to support that.
And also remember, it might have a significant effect in the circles we run in and how we interact and what we see on an ongoing basis. But for the other hundreds of thousands of people who might go out and see this movie, right? They don't care. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know how true. I don't know how true that is, and that's only because I was talking to my aunt last night out in Denver, Colorado, for like an hour. She doesn't watch YouTube. She's not an entertainment person or a Star Wars person or anything. And I was talking about our channel and stuff, and she was like, "Oh my God, have you seen all the stuff Mark Hamill's been saying on social media?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, everybody's been seeing it." So there's somebody, you know, who's not in the space at all that's hearing about this and is all his dumb comments and going after fans and telling them to go force themselves and all this stuff. And so, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of surprised she literally knew anything about it or even heard anything about it.
Well, and again, also remember, when he's shown up every other place, he hadn't been credited, not outright. You know, I mean, they're so sneaky about this, and that's why I go back to, I understand Coach's perspective, which is they want to ensure people come out, so they have to tell you about it. But at the same time, maybe they don't want you to know he's going to be there, so they just bank on word of mouth and, oh my God, Luke is here now. And then if the cat's out of the bag and they figure it cares for itself, I don't know.
Y'all are looking at more of the effect. I'm looking at it more from a strategical perspective.
I get you. I get you.
You know, I'm looking at it like, well, which the problem is, I say it every week, you can't predict what Disney's going to do using logic and reason. You can't. But if we were in charge right now in this moment, then I would definitely have Luke Skywalker having a big part in this Grogu Mando movie. Whether or not Mark Hamill's involved, I do not care. No. I don't like recast his ass. I'm good with it.
And if he gives them permission to use his likeness, does he even have to be involved?
No.
So, I mean, that's why I say there's ways to bring Luke in and leave Mark Hamill out.
Yeah, I know they acquired the rights for James Earl Jones, and several other OG actors, but I can't remember who they were. But I know James Earl Jones was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, guys. Look, we got Staccato DDS with a $10 super chat. Hey, we already covered that one.
Yep, that was it.
So
there was one more come in. I think it might have been. Oh, it was Mexican Iron Man. Yeah.
Oh, Mexican Iron Man. You guys can see him here on the EBN cast tomorrow afternoon.
Mexican Iron Man. Member chat. I tune in, just got here, and first thing I hear is Darth Simpus, KK Lover, telling us the Mando movie will be good. Good grief, this guy, lol.
Wow, if he really just jumped in right when Matt was saying that is freaking hilarious.
He been like that the whole show, Mike. He been like that all show.
He knows.
Kissing KK's booty, man. He loves that one.
We're inseparable, she and I.
Yep. All right, boys. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for being here and checking out our live stream. DA, tell everybody what you got going on.
So I'll be doing a nightcap just after this show. I'm gonna try to power through the first 3 episodes of Rings of Power, and then I will I'm gonna power through them, and then I'm jumping right on afterwards with the nightcap, and I'm just gonna discuss it. So if anybody is hanging out late at night and you want to, hear my thoughts and opinions on the Rings of Power and share your own, okay? If you guys have watched it, join in on the nightcap. That'll be going on tonight, as usual, somewhere around probably 10 o'clock. I throw them up whenever. Last night I had one. I just threw it up at like 11 o'clock my time. And just went live.
Derek, have you heard
insane.
any of the spoilers about Rings of Power?
I have avoided all spoilers. I'm here for just full.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know
Well, there's
what
one thing that's gonna happen in it, and you're gonna be like face palming.
Yeah.
Derek,
Okay,
I
I'm ready.
apologize. You probably don't even know it. I called you this morning. You posted a video. It went live at like 3:30.
Yeah.
My time.
Yeah.
I'm driving down the road heading to the gym, and I see that you had just posted a video. And I'm like, oh, he's awake.
Nah.
And I called you. And it rang half a ring. And I hung up real quick. And I was like, he ain't awake. It is 3:30 his time.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I did not mean to call that man at 3:30 in the morning for you.
I saw it. I saw the mist. I was like, and then you sent the message, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, then I sent a message.
No,
I was like, hey, holler at me today sometime.
Yeah, give me a call. I was out. I wouldn't have heard that even if it rang more than a half ring.
So I'll call Nick at 5 in the morning. He's still awake.
Yeah. Well, I was just falling asleep right when you called me this morning.
Yeah, and you were like, I'm going to take like a 4-hour nap and I'll call you back. And then 9 hours later, you called me.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I woke up, it was like I had like 10 minutes to get. I had 10 minutes before I had to be on Mr. H review stream, and then I had some tree removal people that came by. And I had to talk to them. And then I jumped on that stream. As soon as I got off that, then I had to start working. And so, yeah, as soon as I got free, I finally called you back. But I didn't think I was going to sleep right up until the point I was going to be tied up.
I haven't watched Rings of Power, DA, but I think there's a lot of people that agree with this comment.
That the Acolyte is going to be better than the Rings of Power.
I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about this show.
Because I haven't watched it yet, but I did spend a little time listening to the Drinkers Open Bar today with a few folks who had watched it.
Ooh,
and we're in for a doozy.
Did you watch season 1, DA?
Oh,
I did. I powered through it. Yeah, I got all the way through it. Like I didn't like in its initial run when all the episodes were dropping. I would watch, and then I would like, man, I'll come back to it, and then I would watch another one. I got to get caught up. Let me go back and watch. It took me about 5 or 6 months to get through those 8 episodes or whatever it was. It was a slog. It was an absolute slog to get through all of them, but I did get through it.
Sounds
I
like
tried
Deep
to go
Space
back
Nine.
and watch them in anticipation of this, and I couldn't do it. So I just said, I'm just going to have to take it just as it comes, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll be watching that as soon as we're done. I'm about to jump on the Amazon Prime and see what's up.
You're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it.
I'm gonna hate life for the next. It's gonna be like the Acolyte all over again. It feels like, man, it's that bad.
It's very bad.
Wow.
All right, Nick Rispin, anything?
EBN cast tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central. If there's anybody going to be in the Atlanta area this weekend, I will be in Atlanta this weekend. Dragon Con is going on. Yeah.
Nice. All right. If anybody's going to be at the Auburn football game, I will be there.
Oh, you're going to the first game tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I am. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for being here, guys. We are You Are Echo Based Network. Go enjoy Rings of Power, everybody. And make sure to no review bombs. Only positivity, okay? All right, anyways. And go watch that new fresh video from Amanda Stenberg called Discharge. Y'all have a
Discord.
Discord.
That's what I said, Discharge.
Coach and Nick from Echo Base Network, thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens.